Welcome back to LTV News. My name is Emily Gallison, and today we are honoured to have a very special client in our studio, the representatives from the Singapore Guangdong Huiguan. Our focus story for today will be about bridging the generation gap between the older generation and the youth to tackle the issue our client is currently facing. In this news segment, we'll be introducing our client's association, identifying our target group, sharing our survey findings, and a brief overview of our problem statement. After which, we will have students from the Singapore Management Universities to introduce their proposed recommendation for our client, and to end off a quick conclusion. Firstly, the purpose of our client's association is to connect the feelings of Guangdong nationals in Singapore, promote unity, sponsor public welfare, and promote cultural undertakings. Unfortunately, they are faced with many challenges such as Cantonese culture losing its importance within society and the lack of youth involvement. Hence, their main objective right now is to promote Cantonese culture within Singapore and invoke interest in the youth regarding Cantonese culture. Here is a SWOT analysis of our client. We recognize our client's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Taking all the above into consideration, we have decided on a specific target group, conducted surveys to gather more insightful information, and the students from SMU have also conscientiously crafted compelling recommendations for our client. The chosen target group are Nanyang Polytechnic students, primarily Year 1 students, the members of Singapore Guangdong Huiguan, and the elders in Singapore. Moving on to our survey, as seen, we have a total of 100 unbiased respondents that attend different polytechnics from different dialect groups. From the survey, we found out that a worrying 51% of our respondents cannot speak any dialects, and a shocking 67 of them are not even aware of Dialect Clans Association in Singapore, like our clients. Fret not, we will make sure that these numbers decrease with the help of our SMU students. Additionally, we've asked our respondents to share with us reasons why generation gap exists, as we feel that it is the root cause of the issue our client is facing. These are the top 3 reasons we have concluded from our online research and the survey results. As mentioned in our problem statement, we strongly believe the reason why Cantonese culture is losing its importance in society and the lack of youth involvement is due to the generation gap between the older generation and the youth. There's an urgent need to bridge this generation gap because by increasing interactions between the different generations, youth are more exposed to the Cantonese culture, which could lead to an increase in interest towards their heritage, ultimately achieving our client's objective.
So recommendation 1 adopts a 2-pronged approach with phase 1 and phase 2, and the purpose of this recommendation is to create common platforms for interaction and bonding between our target groups. Phase 1 targets only the youth, with key strategy 1 being interactive posters and key strategy 2 being the phone booth initiative. Phase 2 involves both the youth and the elderly relatives as they engage in activities using a mobile app with features as mentioned above. So now I'll be talking about the overview of objectives for phase 1. For phase 1, the main objectives are publicity and inspiration. Through key strategy 1, which is interactive posters, we will raise awareness for generation gap prevalent in Singapore. At the same time, it will also draw attention to the phone booth initiative happening nearby. Key strategy 2 focuses on inspiring youth to want to grow closer to their elder relatives. The 2 main stakeholders of this phase 1 is the association as well as Nanyang Polytechnic's Chinese Cultural Group. A collaboration between them is possible due to its shared common goal of wanting to promote Chinese culture in Singapore. Our team has come up with 2 types of interactive posters, the first being non-digital and the second being digital versions depending on the budget and availability of facilities. As seen from this slide, the non-digital poster will include a platform for students to voice their opinions regarding generation gap in Singapore. This will spark debate among students, raising the awareness for the situation. This is an example of a digital interactive poster. In this digital interactive poster, users can tap on the screen to clear the fog, which is a metaphor for the misunderstanding and misconceptions youth have of elderly, as well as elderly half of the youth.
And I'll be going through key strategy 2. The second key strategy will be using a phone booth initiative to inspire youths to have interest in bridging a gap between them and their elder relatives. During this activity, youths will be inside the phone booth alone and will be calling their elder relatives to share their love and appreciation. This can be seen from our survey findings that 74% of youths are not close to their elder relatives. Although this activity may sound easy, but the twist is that they will be conversing in dialects. Many will find themselves stuttering and at a loss of words. This will highlight the decreasing proportion of youths being able to converse in their dialects, which can be supported by our survey findings that more than half of the youths are unable to speak their own dialects. Inside the phone booth, there will also be an infographic attached to the wall. The infographic will include one-liner statistics to encourage youths to learn their dialects by highlighting the need to do so. At the corner of the infographic, there will also be a QR code attached, which can be scanned and would direct youths to download our mobile application, which will be covered later on. Lastly, there will be a camera installed to record these conversations and reactions for publicity purposes. Move on to phase 2, consisting of the third and fourth objectives. Under Self-Learn, Yongwei will be taking us through how our mobile application provides youths and elders a communication platform where both parties are able to learn from each other. Under Interaction, we will explain how both parties are incentivized to complete activities together.
Our Canton Go app has 5 main features. They are Learn, Translate, Explore Places, Rewards, and Social Connections. So let me take you through the situations where our Canton Go app can be used. For example, if the youth have communication barrier with their grandparents, they can use our app. So what functions they can use? They are mainly Learn and Translate. Learn, they are consist of the different phrases that will be commonly used in our daily lives, and translates are converting the English language to Cantonese phrases so that you can converse with your grandparents. And next we have a Telegram bot. This is where you just chat normally and then the bot will automatically help you convert the text to the Cantonese dialect. So in the situation number 2, like for example, the youth do not know where to go with their grandparents, right? They actually can use our explore function, where they can look for the different events happening and places to go. If you are at a Chinese opera event, and then we detect your location through the mobile app, you actually can claim your rewards. And thereafter, it will be automatically updated into social connections.
And I will now start to brief about the advantages of recommendation 1. In recommendation 1, we choose the atrium as the location for the event as it is centrally located and it has the highest flow of traffic of students. As mentioned, the advantage of phase 1 would be the facility available at NYP for the Huiguan to tap on. This allows them to directly reach to the NYP students, which is one of our target group. Another advantage of phase 1 would be the interactive posters, as it allows them to have a high involvement with the students since they have to answer a yes or no question. The explore feature that Yongwei has mentioned earlier is very similar to the sensational game Pokemon Go. It is well accepted by many, including the youth. Moving on to the disadvantage. We would expect that the youth might be reluctant to participate. Hence, we have decided to come up with a lucky draw to entice the students in NYP since they now have an incentive to do so. Secondly, the cost of employing professionals to develop the app might not be within the budget. Hence, we recommend the Huiguan to partner with any possible polytechnics or universities to have their students to develop the app as a collaborative project with the client. Lastly, the elders might find it difficult to use the app. Since our game rules require them to complete the checkpoints together with the youth will be able to guide them through the usage of the app while they are clearing the checkpoints together. The measure of success for phase 1 could be computed from the participation rate during the phone booth activity as well as the number of app downloads through the QR code. In phase 2, the Huiguan can track the demographics of users who participate in the explore feature as well as the number of active users to determine the retention rate. They can also test users periodically from time to time by creating a progress map for each user. Lastly, the app ratings could also be one of the measures that they can measure the success.
Now we're going to recommendation 2. Our second recommendation has 2 phases, which are weekly bonding activities and a cultural event which consists of a fun fair and talent showcase. The targeted groups for this phase are students from NYP, their elder relatives, and the members of the Huiguan. This recommendation was based on our survey findings, where the top 3 activities that would entice the youth to bond with different generations are family bonding through community events, weekly activities, and an experiential day where they would experience each other's lifestyle. Therefore, this recommendation will help us to draw in our main target groups. For phase 1, we will have weekly activities. So the aim for phase 1 is for the youth and the older generation to bond while exchanging their ideas and skills. And it also serves as a preparation for the upcoming talent showcase, where they would have to integrate the skills that they have learned into their performances. The weekly activities and preparation will span over a total of 4 weeks, and lessons will be held 2 days per week at NYP. So the groups involved here are the Nanyang Polytechnic Culture Group and the Huiguan. The youth will plan activities to equip the older generation with relevant skills needed for the talent showcase, while the Huiguan members will plan for lessons to educate the youth on the Cantonese culture. So here's a sample lesson plan of how the weekly activities can be organized. By having these weekly activities, it will address the issue of different mindsets and communication barriers, since the youth will get in touch with their cultural roots as well as better understand their elders by learning their dialect. Additionally, it will also help to foster generational connections, as the older generation and the youth will be spending more time together as they are learning new skills from each other. Moving on to phase 2, this phase will be a cultural event consisting of a fun fair and a talent showcase, which will be held at NYP's atrium. The fun fair portion will consist of setting up games and food booths, which are Cantonese themed. So here are some of our booth ideas, which are based on language, arts, pop culture, films, and food. As for the talent showcase, the youth and the older generation will get to show off their skills after weeks of preparation and come together to give a performance of their choice, which can include singing, dancing, or skit. The performances will be judged based on what they have learned during the weekly activities and integration of the skills into the performance. Also, there will be a prize-giving ceremony to award the top 3 winners of the talent showcase to recognize their efforts put into the performances.
And I'll be talking about the advantages and disadvantages of our recommendation. So this recommendation firstly will be beneficial for both parties involved. Secondly, this will not only provide a space for them to have fun together, but also create opportunities to bring ideas from different generations together, which otherwise might be very hard to achieve without a common ground. Thirdly, the event also serves as an opportunity for the Huiguan to interact with the youth and potentially seek for new members as identified in the SWOT analysis. So with what we have proposed, there are several issues we might need to consider while implementing the activities. One of them would be that since the weekly activities are conducted in NYP, the elders will be required to travel down, which might cause some inconvenience. So a suggestion that we gave to tackle this issue would be to plan for transportation for the trips between Huiguan and the NYP. Secondly, there is a possible of low attendance turn-up rate due to the ongoing school activities on the same day. Therefore, while scheduling for the event, it is important for the organizing committee to ensure that there are no competing events on the same day. And for this issue, we have also allocated a budget that has been used to get professional Cantonese performers in hope to draw in more crowds. Lastly, as the weekly activities in phase 1 are built up towards the event and the duration of the cultural event only lasts for a day, it might not have a lasting impact on the participants once the event ends. Therefore, the next presenter Shi Ting will also share about our plans to address this issue of sustainability.
Next, for our measure of success of our mass event, we will create an online feedback form in a QR code to capture the feedback from the audience as well as the level of satisfaction on the day itself. Moreover, we can use a free online analytical tool like the social mention to utilize their social metrics features such as the total mention and the sentiment ratio. The total mention could be used to gauge the event's influence after the event. Also, the sentiment, in which it is the ratio of the generally positive mention to generally negative mentions, could be used to get a sense of the event's effectiveness as well as understanding the audience experience. As for the sustainability of our one-day cultural event, we recommend the association to create an official Instagram account as a follow-up measure to stay connected with the public. Since our primary target group is the youth, leveraging on Instagram can maximize the youth involvement, as research has shown that many Singaporeans youth utilize Instagram.
Wow, very interesting and impressive recommendations that these SMU students have. They provided us with not only one but two recommendations which consist of 2 phases each. Alright, that's all the time we have in the studio today. Till next time, Emily Galliston signing off.